Welcome to The Pack, your gateway to the world of Patricia Briggs and the Mercyverse, where shifters, vamps, and fae rule. Magic hums just beneath the surface, and danger is always one heartbeat away. Now, let's run with the pack. Here are your hosts.
Welcome back to March Pack Podcast. I'm Greg, and along with hosts Linda.
Hello.
And Hasna.
Hey.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Today, tonight, wherever it is, whatever time it happens to be. We got a fun one to talk about today. I think it's fun because everybody is a villain in somebody else's story. And we're going to jump into this here in just a little bit. But we just did our second quarterly drawing. And Linda, do you want to make like the official announcement here?
Congratulations to Jordan B., who is the winner of this quarter's merch draw.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And I reached out to Jordan, and she was like, yesterday was my birthday.
Oh. Great birthday present.
I don't know how that happened, but there goes. So what's all included in, well, at least this one and the last one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, like you've got a coffee mug, a T-shirt, a tote bag, stickers, various merch things that I have kicking around.
The Adam dog tags as well, I think.
Dog tags.
Yeah,
yes,
the dog tags.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's dog tags.
There isn't a new car in there someplace, isn't there?
Well, I don't know tags. That I could afford the postage on that.
Okay. All right. Well, you just never know. Congratulations to Jordan B. for being our second winner. And again, once a quarter we do a drawing. So the next one will be coming up in another several months. So there you go. And shout out to Jennifer Walker, who was our new Patreon person that jumped into Patreon. We appreciate that very much. If you haven't had a chance to go check out Patreon, be sure and do that. We have multiple...
Definitely.
Yeah, we have multiple levels for you to take part in. And we also just did our Discord, didn't we?
Yes, and that was fun. Also, I'd like to add that the free, well, it's free now, but the exclusive extra episode that we did on Blind Date with a Werewolf is up on the Patreon site for everyone, so they could check that out.
Yeah.
I forgot to add that, so it's a good time to check it out.
It is. So go check out Patreon, and would love to have you pop in there and join us.
And if you haven't read Blind Date with a Werewolf,
yes.
Be sure to read that before you listen to the podcast.
It's full of spoilers.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there is that. I am still in the process. My reading lately has gone way downhill, my reading time, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through Hobbs' Bargain. And I know I know it's not a Mercyverse, but it's a fun story. Yeah.
It's so cute, yeah.
So, as I mentioned going into this, that everybody is a villain in somebody else's story, I think is something that we need to chat about just a little bit here. Villains in the Mercyverse. And I started digging into this, and just before we started the podcast, Linda goes, "We need to talk about this." Hasna and I have been talking about it.
Greg's like,
Okay, what did I do now? I don't know.
There's too many different types.
God, I just started digging down through the list here of, possible villains, and it's like, holy crap. Every book has got at least 3 or 4, if not more, and then they build on top of that. So...
and some become allies, some become frenemies, and it's, yeah.
And there's so many kind of almost one-off kind of characters that kind of pop in. And, and I think, Hasna, you just mentioned, like Christy is a villain, but also as you said, Mercy is a villain to Christy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
To Christy, yeah. She'll
Yeah.
see her as basically her enemy. Yeah. So not everyone is like clear cut. You know, I remember like even Adam, he is seen as an enemy to the humans. So, and he would view himself like as a monster. You know, so no one is like a paladin or a shining knight in armor or anything like that. There's all different kinds of shades of grey. Even like the perfect example would be Z. He was a villain. He was a bad guy. Bran was Grendel. No, so people seem to forget that, and you can see the glimpses of that in Cry Wolf when he's holding on to that inner demon inside him. Because if that ever comes out, they would have to destroy him because they can't let that happen again.
Just looking at some of the other names that I jotted down here. John Lauren, part of the Cantrip folks, and Cantrip,
John Lawrence Society,
yeah,
posh, yeah, the posher version.
There's just so many places to go, but let's dig down for just a sec here, and I think when we talk villain, we're probably talking about Marsillia, Bonerata.
Yeah.
Those is that what you guys were thinking and drilling down on this?
Yeah, but then the more we were thinking, the more we were like, oh.
Yeah, well, I think I like,
huge, yeah.
Marcillia's journey, right? Because, she
Yeah.
starts out as this villain. For me, the first part of the Mercy series, the villains are very much vampires. And Marsillia is at the forefront of that. And then you see a shift where they become allies, especially, the ones in, the Columbia Basin. Mm-hmm. But now we don't know with Bonerata being more into the story, are we going to see that shift back into where they're enemies? So it's kind of a gray area where we're sitting right now, where we're not sure what the influence of Bonerata is going to have on the vampires in the Columbia Basin. So it's kind of tender hooks on which way this is going to fall.
Yeah, like the vampire politics is such a mess. It's like it's a hot mess. And once you think you kind of figure things out, she does something that, like what she did to Stefan with his seed, and with his sheep. I mean, not his seed, but with his sheep, and like that was a betrayal for him, because he was supposed to protect his people, and he was like one of the like decent vampires, and they were just like collateral damage to her. She didn't care. And it just shows you that how ruthless she is, and that ruthlessness can be really, really detrimental to the pack. I think in the long term, if she follows through with whatever Bonerata does. But I don't know. I like the first few books. She is there. There's like an archetype of like the crazy vampire. And
kind of Drusilla, but a bit more edgy, I guess.
Yeah, like she's just kind of woken up from.
For
this,
my Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans, that's a reference to that.
So, do each of you have a favorite villain?
Oh, that's hard.
I did have one who's not a villain right now. It's Wolf. So he was always the one who freaked me out the most, and
you and me both.
Because he's so unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do, and he's just like so. Basically, I was almost swore there, but like bats, poop.
Yeah, and I think that's the unpredictability of him is what makes him very interesting to me. So
yeah, and I'd like to think, I don't know, I haven't talked to Patty about this at all, but I'd like to think that we have not seen the last of the bad wolf. Is that a Doctor Who reference?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well,
all
there's
right.
loads of Doctor Who references too, so it's kind of big. But
And I think we really haven't scratched the surface of Tilly either. So I think in future books that she's going to be a problem for Aiden, a problem for the pack. So
she's the wild card. Like everyone.
Yeah,
like,
but do we see her as part of like those kind of godlike villains that really can't be killed? Is she someone who can
Just
be destroyed?
Just dealt with.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It's like the river monster, like
Iota. But with those kind of monsters, those kind of villains, they kind of get buried by their own hubris. Like, because they always seem to think, well, I am so powerful, I am invincible, and that seems to be like their weaknesses. Because
but what are the Fae without Underhill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you don't know. There might be a wild card in the future where something that overthrows that. And I think Tilly is like using that to her advantage, but she might have to be careful because there's always some weird and strange resolution that will come and like undermine her. And it seems like the series is leading to a point where unexpected events is happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coyote, in some ways, he is the villain in a lot of ways, but at the same time he is kind of the hero, but he's the chaos. This contradiction with him, because as the series goes on you can see his fingerprints are everywhere. So I think the major villain, it could be Coyote,
and he does have a ruthlessness very similar to Marsillia. Right.
Yeah.
So he's not afraid to sacrifice pawns to get to the end game. So
it's like chess pieces.
Yeah.
He's laying out a chess game, and no one knows the rules. Nobody knows the rules, and he doesn't even know the rules because he doesn't play by the rules.
As I was digging into this, and Bonerata kept coming up to the top of the list. Okay, this is the ultimate bad guy. But as we've been kind of talking about the fact that to me Bonerata he's a known. He is every oligarch. He is every billionaire. I have more power than I politicians. All those kind of things. He's a known. He is an absolute known. Yeah, he's arrogant. Yeah, he's the big bad vampire guy. But compared to a coyote, a wolf, I don't think he holds a candle in my estimation as being the number one bad guy.
Well, sorry, you carry on.
I think that in the beginning it was a very mysterious character, and so. And when we got to see him in Silence Fallen, I didn't really see him as a big bad. He was just kind of a joke. But after Silence Fallen, it's gotten very uncomfortable. I mean, like, I see him as someone who will just kill indiscriminately. So, just to make a point. So you've pissed him off in some way, and he'll just kill everybody in your family and everybody who you've ever known. Kind of like, the Emperor in Foundation or something like that. So
he's very egotistical. Like I've said this to Linda, like saying, I have this theory that I think he's kind of possessed, but not possessed, because of the soul. There's a scene in Soul Taker when he picks up the artifact and he's not affected by it. So it affected Wolf and others. So that is very, very scary. And I think it kind of hinted of a bigger bad was this death god. And I think that's not the end we're going to see about this, because there was that book planted a seed, and I think it's interlinked with that thing. So I think that makes him really scary. In some ways, I think he's become like a servant of it.
Yeah, I don't see that.
No, but
I know you. I know it's your pet theory, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just think there's a reason why he's not affected by it, and that is scary, because it seems to suggest that he hasn't got a soul while the others do. Like, it seems that even Wolf has a soul. So I don't know. I just and also the idea of a possessed vampire just scares me. So
yeah, I mean, like,
so
we have seen that. Yeah, like the demon possessed. We don't really see a lot of demons after Bloodbound.
No. But this is like a death god. This is not like a demon.
Yeah, but we have seen, you know, possessions before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at groups. I mean, we've been looking at individuals, you know, here for a little bit, but you look at groups, and again, I don't want to get too broad on this, but you look at groups like the Grey Lords, you look at the Black Witches. And then we mentioned kind of offhand, I think, before we started, you know, the government, cantrip, and these are all unknown. You know, well, the Grey Lords and Black Witches are kind of known, but when you deal with the government, you deal with humans. I don't know.
Yeah, that is scary, because that is basically an external threat, because they've come out now in public, and they have to present themselves like, oh, we're safe, we're not dangerous, even though they are dangerous, and they have to cover that up. And that is like frightening, because what if the government can turn on, you know, the supernatural beings, and it'll be a bloodbath, because they're not going to take it down, you know, lying down. They're going to fight, and that you could just see what happened with the conflict with the Fae. It'll be times 11 with the werewolves, because they're much more violent. So it's not easy to curtail or to control.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, the hardesty witches, like the Black Witches, we'll see a lot more of. I think that
Definitely.
So definitely see them as kind of inching into that top 5 of the.
Well, we kind of suspect that something's going on with Gabriel and the wedding in Seattle, and then you've got Bonerata setting up things in the city as well. So I think that's going to be in the next few books for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I do like. I think, Linda, you mentioned Tilly. She in the guise of the little child. I have this weird thing, you know, I think everybody has something that freaks them out, you know, just makes them go kind of goosey in the knees. And it's little kids in spooky shows.
It's like Damien effect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the Damien effect, yeah. And when I think about Tilly and this little voice of hers and what's really behind the eyes, it scares crap out of me.
Yes.
Yeah, but, you know, it's the same with, like, Edith. It's like, why does she persist in, you know, using the glamour of a child?
Yeah.
Because they know that it unsettles people. Like, that's why. And like, I think Aidan kind of mentions, oh, that's not, always her form. She can appear in different forms. But the fact that she appears as a little girl, it's like, oh, hi, I'm a little girl, I'm playing. Even though, like, this is like a limb. Where did this come from? And it's all bloody and everything. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to go torture creatures in my domain. But she knows that she's screwing people because she's screwed up, so she loves it. But I've got another theory, and I did mention this to Linda because we were talking about this, that the skull that she gave to Z, I think there's something in that, because she was not happy when a Mercy declined her offer to give her the soul taken, and I think that's going to come and bite both of them back in the arse along the way. And she's on the mission to gain power, and I think she's trying to get back her previous powers, and the whole thing with the smoke bitten things, stuff like that. So I think there's going to be a huge clash with the Fae as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, she's given away too much of her power, and now she's trying to retrieve it.
Yeah.
So I'm worried for Aiden.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be something it's a collision course happening.
I had this weird sideways thought when the whole skull thing went through, and it was, oh, it's Bob. and yeah, don't go there, but I mean that's what my brain went. Oh, it's Bob. So yeah,
well,
okay.
Like skulls were being used as like bowls and stuff in books and movies and stuff. So it's not. But the fact that she was like trying to freak everyone out. Oh, this is like his daughter's skull, you know, and he's decorated. But yeah, there's something there, and I think maybe she's trying to remind him of his old self. And I think you see glimpses of that coming back because he's kind of mellowed out, even though he's a grumpy git. But
you see that kind of slip a little, where he's a little. You see the cracks.
And I think the Fae have forgotten that as well. Like, you know, because he's like mellowed down over the years, and you should never forget. And I think that's something that this is going to be revisited again in the future. And I think there's a precursor with Bran as well. Like, there's over the course of the series, like there's little breaks where he seems to be cracking a little bit.
Maybe he has too many artifacts.
Yeah.
he's
not a young
stealing
guy
too many
anymore,
artifacts.
you know?
It's affecting him.
He's like collecting them like the Infinity Stones, you know. And there is something going on with the artifacts, and don't forget the Silverborn as well. And that's going to come into play. There's like little clues, and it's all leading up to something.
But I think in the future, like, you know, villain-wise, we'll see the rise of, you know, Citizens for a Bright Future, the John Lawrence Society, Hardesty Witches, and Bonerata, kind of all in a mix.
And I think Coyote is going to be there right in the middle of this, just to basically make him like, this is chaos. This is going to be chaos, and he revels in that. And it doesn't. When chaotic events happen, it never turns out the way the people behind creating these events think it's going to turn out. It never, you know, because it just explodes. It implodes everywhere. The question is whether things get resolved in a good way or in a bad way, or both.
Yeah, I love the way Patty, you know, goes in and out with some of the different factions and utilizes, you know, the vampires at this point, and then she uses, you know, the humans at this point. Then it's the Fae, and there's this just lovely mishmash of all of these. And at any one given point, you know, somebody pops up and becomes, again, the villain in somebody else's, you know, story. And I just love that fact. I can't wait to see where she's going next with, you know, with the villains. And as we've said, it does kind of appear maybe next in line is another Bonerata story, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
But another reason why a good villain story is that there's a reason why they become a villain. It's not like you don't want a cliche like, oh, I'm into the, you know, I'm evil and therefore I'm the bad guy. That doesn't really work out. There has to be a really good story and a reason why they turned out that way, and that in some ways you can like sympathize, but at the same time absolutely hate that character because they could have chosen a better way.
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
That makes it more real and realistic, and like you could kind of understand it. If they are fleshed out, it feels real. You know? Yeah.
Before we wrap up here, and actually this is all of a sudden we're, you know, just about out of time here. Big story, and we'd love to hear what you guys think of, you know, the villains. Who's your favorite villain? Which villain do you want to see next, or which villain, you know, gives you the woolies like Tilly and I? I'm just really curious as to what people have to say. So I had a quick story I wanted to tell you guys, and I'm a little embarrassed by this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you've read the latest post, the latest blog post on Patreon that I wrote about this whole urban fiction thing, I had jumped into writing this thing, and I was thinking, I'm writing this brilliant piece. This is absolutely brilliant, in my mind. And I get into it, and I reach out to Patty, and I say, give me your thoughts on this. And we went back and forth a little bit on a couple of things. Disagreed with me on some things, and that's okay. I don't mind that. And then she goes, urban fantasy is just a marketing tool. And I went, oh. Do I delete the entire? Because I've put a lot of time and energy in this thing. So she was just so matter of fact about the whole thing, and I just absolutely loved it.
It's literally like genre fiction is tropes, basically, and it's like split into subgenres. So at the moment, fantasy romance is huge, although they term it as romantasy, but there's like some books will have like a subplot, which is the romance is not on the forefront, but it's more of a fantasy with a romantic subplot. Well, others will have more of a core romance, which is like on the forefront, and then in the background it's a fantasy setting. And then like it's now at the moment I can see that in that subgenre there seems to be cozy fantasy romance, and then you've got dystopian romance, which is becoming more popular. And that cycle has like it kind of like is reminiscent of the young adult trend a few years back with Divergent and the Hunger Games. And I just think it's really interesting because we're living in an age where you either want to escape, like you've got the cozy fantasy, or you just want to go, oh, just give me a dystopian, at least I could escape into a dystopian romance. It's like that, so yeah, it is it's a marketing term, and like and I think urban fantasy and paranormal romance will come back. That seems to be creeping in a bit as well. So it's a cycle. It's luck as well. If some books get really, really lucky, and then others they kind of like disappear. But it's part and parcel of publishing, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do see a trend of pulling from Japanese anime and manga,
yes,
like the izakaya, where protagonists jump into parallel worlds, fantasy or game
Spider-Verse or whatever. Yeah,
there's lit RPG as well. That's exploded in the past year or so.
I just found it fascinating that with just one simple little sentence, she kind of blew my world apart.
She just cut you off at the knees.
Yeah. She's paying for lunch next time, I can guarantee it. That's all I can say. Hey, everybody, it's been a lot of fun to sit here and dig back and forth about, the villains of the Mercyverse. There are so many rich characters here, and I just wish there were about 14, Patties out there that could keep writing, because we all want to go down, a certain path.
Different rabbit holes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'd really love to hear more about, this person or that person, or as you said, Hasna, what made them become this villain.
Exactly, yeah.
I love that kind of a backstory.
I would be really curious, because I don't think we really got this, about why Bonerata has become this vampire that he's turned against his the closest people around him. I know it's ego. I know it's his arrogance and maybe jealousy, but it feels like there's more to it, because it took Wolf and Marsillia and Stefan by surprise. Like it was a gradual thing, but something was there to instigate something, I think. Yeah. And to that point, too, it reminds me of the whole Wicked, the Wicked backstory. It's not really a bad person, but a good person doing things, So it's deep. This is a deep pond to get into sometimes. So any final thoughts from you guys?
No. I always feel like put on the spot. I was like, no, I can't think of anything right now.
Sorry, Linda.
I like the idea because, like, it's in one book you might have, this person's, this is the villain, and then in the next book they'll do something where they're not the villain, but it's not someone you could trust. So it's shades of grey, and that's realistic. That is realism, and it's not someone that's black and white and cliched, and it's predictable,
Yeah.
So,
and that's life.
Yeah, and I think like we discussed about Marsillia. I think she's a fascinating character because she started off like as this like black and white character. She's the evil mad vampire, and she's become basically a frenemy now of Mercy but at the same time you can't really trust her because she has her own agenda, and I don't think Stefan can ever trust her and I don't think she realises that. And I think if she ever I think the problem with Mercy is not Bonerata. I think it's Stefan. I think if
all things point back to Stefan. So.
Yeah, and I think if Marsillia ever realises that if Stefan is like basically he will protect Mercy over her, that'll be it. I think because it's not Bonerata, it's Stefan for her.
I guess time will tell, won't it? Indeed.
Well, it will indeed.
It will indeed. All right, guys. It has been a fun dig into the villains. I hope you the folks out there enjoyed the dig. We'd love to hear what you think. Just send us a note through Patreon or through the Facebook pages or in Instagram, wherever it happens to be, and let us know what you think. Did you have a thought there, Linda?
Oh, I was just going to say, meet us on Discord and let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think on the podcast thread that we have there.
By all means. And you can dive into that pretty much any time. So with that, guys, I appreciate the fun, the thoughts, and it's going to be another month. We will see you coming up very, very soon. Linda, thank you.
Bye.
Hasna?
Bye.
We'll see you all next time around on the Pack Podcast.
The shadows are stirring, and our time together has drawn to a close, at least for now. But the Pack is never far away. When the moon rises again, we'll be here waiting. Thanks for running with the Pack. The Pack Podcast is a Grail Productions show. Copyright 2026. Hearog Incorporated. All rights reserved.